You talk about media stories. Uh, Jeffrey Pfeffer is a Stanford professor who has done a lot of research in his book called Power, and where he says many successful people, not all of them, many of them recreate their own history to make themselves look good when they become famous. That means suppose they didn't have food on one Friday afternoon. They will say, I never had food for all 7 days. Who is going to check them? You will read the story and say, my God, the guy didn't have food for all 7 days and still he became a billionaire. What is wrong with me? I am having food 4 times in a day. Something is wrong going here. So that's another reality distortion field. If you don't know this kind of research, you will fall trap into it. And the same with books and sitcoms. Sitcoms are very funny. Like how many of you have watched Friends? It's very nice, isn't it? Because they come into the home, house is spick and span clean, and the food is ready, and then the beds are made. They never seem to work, but always having fun conversations. And if you forget that it's a reality distortion field, you will think, when I grow up, I want to be like Friends. So that's the problem with the first, unreasonable expectations. Next, we will look at the suboptimal performance. Why you may not be where you should be, right? So one is convenient access to things that will bring you down. The good news about bad habits is that bad habits are very easy to form. Isn't it? Everything is convenient. If you want to start smoking, cigarettes are available. If you want to start drinking, drinks are available. Anything that you want to you start a bad habit, everything is super convenient. And unfortunately, any bad habit does not have an overnight bad effect. Isn't it? Tomorrow morning, nothing will happen. If you eat a bag of Lay's chips, tomorrow morning, nobody will get a heart attack. But if you eat one in the morning, one in the afternoon, one at night, tomorrow morning, one in the morning, one day you will get a heart attack. But that is too far out, right? So that's the first problem of convenient access. Then pursuing shortcuts to glory, because you read about rags to riches stories. Suddenly you will think, if they can do it, I can do it. And shortcut is the longest path to any meaningful destination, right? So last one is lack of push button access to good help. See, if you want to climb a hill right behind your home, you don't need a lot of help. But if you want to climb Mount Everest, you better need good help, right? And then many times people think, I have a grand idea and I need help. Let me call all my friends. The really good people have a lot of requests that are coming to them for help. They have to pick among the worthy choices to help. Just because you are in a hurry to get help, they are not in a hurry to give you that good help. Mediocre help is available for plenty and for free also. I'm talking about good help, right? Really successful people have access to good help with the push of a button. Why? Because they have contributed so much and they have created obligations with powerful people. When a call comes from these people that have contributed so much, these powerful people are wanting to help. They're almost saying, oh my God, thank God for the opportunity. If you have not done that, you don't deserve the push button access to good help. Let's move on. I wanted to share 3 concepts because I'm a teacher, so I can talk for hours. But I wanted to restrict it to 3 concepts related to change. So one is, first is, why is change hard in the first place? When I was doing this research, I'm an engineer, so I had to have charts, graphs and everything. So I found that the first reason is that every smart person would love to have enough control on short-term outcomes of anything that they do. If they write a program, they want to make sure that it compiles very well. If they send an email, they want to know that the response comes back. Control on short-term outcomes is very important. If they're doing everything that they're already doing, they know the level of control they have on short-term outcomes. Compare that to something that they have never done. Somebody has never written a story. When they try to write a story, most of the time they have to they write one page, tear it away, write one page, tear it away. The control on short-term outcomes is very limited. but it keeps going up. As they become good at storytelling, the control on short-term outcomes they can predict. So compare that to the earlier one, right? So every now and then, so I'll go here, every now and then they come here and then they keep looking at the difference between what is the control they have and what is the control they would have had if they didn't do anything new. So every now and then they think about it and jump back to what is more familiar to them, because the control on short-term outcomes is very, very high. So what do? I'm sure you are not facing this problem, but if you are, or usually somebody close to you will be facing this problem, all you have to say is, you cannot change this. You can only accept it. Just because I'll tell you a quick story. When I got my first book published when I was 13, by 17 I had 6 books published. And I was very good in my studies. In SSLC I got a rank, PUC I got a rank. And then I thought in 1992 when I finished my engineering, I said I can start a company because everybody around me told me I'm so smart, I think company should be very easy. And people said, no, you need some experience. I said, I didn't have experience writing a book at 13. I justified my own reasons. The ego was a big problem. At 22, you can't advise anyone because they seem to know everything under the earth. Right? I was one of them and the company failed badly. So I realized later why it failed. Although I was smart and in education and some left brain and right brain thinking, still it failed. Why? Then I realized just because I am good at playing a solo game, because writing and studying is predominantly a solo game, I won't become an expert in a team game, which is the entrepreneurship. It's a team sport. I can't transfer skills just by wishing for it. So like that, and I had to work hard. The failure was a good thing because I learned a lot of lessons. But in this case, whenever you change, you should know that you are going to fail. And as a smart person with some reasonable amount of ego, you don't want to fail. But once you accept that in the new world, I'm not as smart as I am in the world that I'm familiar with. So I'm going to fail, and also set up the ecosystem and your support network to say that, I'm going to try something new and I have a feeling that I will fail. I need your support. So that way, in your mind, in the back of your mind, if you are thinking they are going to laugh at you, you bought a future insurance that they are not going to laugh, they are going to help you. Make sense? So the next one is as you embark change, you are also going to try new things and you are going to tell other people that you are trying new things, but if you can't convince the other people, so one is rather than you becoming better at convincing them, you can stop telling that they are not understanding. I am explaining everything good. They are the problem. So this is what happens. I did some research on it. And then let's assume that you are going to tell this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just very simple in a sequence. And then what you say is 1, 6 and 8. Because you said the other things are very obvious. I don't have to say it, they will fill in the blanks. Right? And you think this is what they will hear. But this is what they will hear. 1, lot of question marks, 6. And then you ask them, as soon as you say what you are going to say, you said, with so much confidence you say, you got it right? And they don't want to let you down. They'll say, yeah, I got it. And then you think, the next time I don't have to say 2, 3, 4 and 5 because they got it. In reality, they didn't get it because there is no upside of telling you that they didn't get it. So they just say they got it. So the only way you will get out of this is to go back to neuro-linguistic programming. If those of you know NLP, there is a fundamental tenet there which says the meaning of your communication is in its response, nothing else. If you say, how was my talk? They will always say, good. What will you get by saying it's a stupid talk? You will say, nice talk, no? But did they do anything because of the talk? Did they make one small change? What was the response? That's the only way you can measure whether you are good in communicating. The last point I wanted to say is, Lot of people know that they have to change or they want to go after big things. Somebody wants to write a book, somebody wants to start a company. Why don't they do it, right? So it has to be really big. And I found in my research that they will find a gap in an important area. Let's say somebody wants to start a startup and they will say, somebody will tell them, their mentor or their neighbor or their spouse or somebody will tell them, you should good at marketing. Minimum you have to do some marketing skills you need to have. And then they will say, I think I have to get my skills updated on marketing. And they are very smart. They know what their current capacity is, what is their threshold capacity that they need to get good at marketing. And then I have to quote Jeffrey Pfeffer again. He says, in order to know the level of your incompetence on a topic, you need to be reasonably competent on a topic. On the same topic, not on a different topic, right? So this phenomenon happens. And then as you start filling your capacity, 1 month later, you increase your capacity and then they will think, oh my God, there is a lot more than what I thought in marketing. I have to increase my threshold capacity. So I will work hard. You are smart, so you will also know where to get good help. You start thinking about it. This is 3 months, increased your capacity. You also expanded your threshold capacity before which you will pull the trigger, right? And then this 6 months, if you compare this, you have increased your capacity by leaps and bounds, way beyond the threshold capacity that you were thinking, after which you will pull the trigger. But you have now increased even more as the bar that you set. And then as you are talking to other people, they will say, boss, there are other important areas too. You need to know how to read a term sheet. Somebody gives you a term sheet. Do you know what is a term sheet? So I don't know. Oh, first, you don't even know the basics. So you just learn about the term sheet, go to this book, read this, and then you will start thinking, this term sheets thing, I have to get better at it. I know only what is the term sheet, but anything more than that, I don't know. So I think I will get there. And then they will say negotiation, that's very, very important. So you need to learn a little bit. Then hiring key salespeople, you have to know that. And then expanding to other countries, that's very, very important. And then suddenly you are like a deer in the headlights. What should I do? There is so much to learn, and then you keep postponing. So I have an antidote for this, but to sum it up, I always go back to this African proverb, which says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So I want to end with this note that you are all like birds of the same feather. You spent the whole of today listening to talks and everything. There is so much education here. But what is more precious is that everybody is sitting next to you, before you, in front of you, everyone have the same wish in their heart. They want to change the world through better products. That's a great thing to know, because you don't find this kind of a crowd in any other place, because you all came into this product leaders forum, which means that you have that thing in common, that you want to change the world through some products, making better products, creating new products and everything. So all I want to urge is, before you leave this room, before you end the day for today, let me ask this question. Suppose in this crowd, if 2 or 3 strangers come and talk to you and say, introduce themselves, how many of you will be open to such an outreach? How many of you will be open? I think this is a great crowd. So how many of you actually went to 2 or 3 strangers and introduced yourself? So this is amazing. So now you can extend that. If we all stay for 30 minutes more after this keynote sessions and everything, you just don't go to the people that you already know and say, oh, so great to catch up with you and everything. So there are other people that you have never met. I always believe that one conversation can change the trajectory of your life, career or business. One conversation. But you don't know which is that conversation. So if you have those 3-4 conversations, who knows? That might be the conversation that can change the trajectory of your life, work or business. With urging that, I want to welcome the next speaker. Thank you very much.